Hi, I'm filming this video at midnight and I don't want to move the camera, so I'm in this room for this video. Mid-year freakout tag. I talked about this in the TBR video. I realized that I haven't filmed this video yet and we're halfway through the year, so let's freak out. I will have the questions in the description of this video in case you want to copy them and also give your answers in the comments. First question, this is a book tag and it's one that a lot of us do mid-year. First question, best book you've read so far this year? I mean, it's Annihilation, but that was a reread. What was it? Let me just go look at what my mid-year best books of the year so far video said my favorite book of the year was. Born. Yeah, that's unsurprising. So my answer is Annihilation, which is a Vandermeer book, and then the secondary answer, since I can't actually say a reread, it's Born, which is another Vandermeer book. I just really love Jeff Vandermeer. Since filming that video, I did read Changes, which was also an extraordinary book, and that's a Dresden Files book. But my answer is going to be Born, but actually Annihilation. Wow, I'm already answering these questions in a really annoying way. Question number 2, best sequel you've read so far this year? Honestly, it might be Shriek, the sequel to City of Saints and Mad Men. I'm not done with that book at the time that I'm filming this, nor will I be done with it by the time you watch this video, but I love that book so much. But since I haven't finished it yet, I'll say Changes, which is book 12 in the Dresden Files series, I adored. Question number 3, new release you haven't read yet, but you want to? So again, I just released a TBR video for the month, but I also just released a new release video for the upcoming quarter. So there's quite a few new releases that I'm interested in, but I am going to be starting in the month of July. I won't finish it in July. It'll bleed over into next month, but I am going to be starting The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. I'm just so daggone curious. I'm so curious about what else Lev Grossman puts out, and if it's anything like The Magicians, even though we're doing a totally different type of fantasy now. But as far as new releases that are already out that I haven't gotten around to yet, I'm very excited for Service Model, which is a Tchaikovsky book. And I've been reading through a lot of his books lately and really, really enjoying them. Although a few people have read it in my Discord already, and it seems like everybody has come away disappointed. So that sucks. Question number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Okay, so releases, they have not come out yet, and I haven't talked about them yet, assumedly. Obviously, it's going to be Stormlight 5 for me. I won't lie, I'm pretty nervous about it because book 4, while I still enjoyed it, was my least favorite Stormlight so far. Of the series that Sanderson has finished, Mistborn Era 1, Mistborn Era 2, Skyward series, which is not a part of the Cosmere, but it is a Sanderson series that he finished. I love the way he ends his series. Like, I've really been satisfied with his final books and series, so I'm not that nervous. I think it'll probably be good, but you know, so a lot of time has been invested in this series for me and for him. Question number 5, biggest disappointment. I would love to say Bride, because I just really hated that book, but I didn't expect to love it. So biggest disappointment, I think it's going to be Dead Astronauts by Jeff Vandermeer. Jeff Vandermeer is the author that has become like my author. Like, you wrote for me. Your books belong, they're for me. I just connect with them. I love them so much. Other people read his books, and plenty of other people adore him like I do. I'm not special, but plenty of people have tried his books and they're like, what do you see in this? And fair, honestly, but I don't care because they're my books. But Dead Astronauts, I DNF'd. And it was a sequel. I read Born, which was the best book of the year. That wasn't a reread. And then I read The Strange Bird, which was 5 stars, and I adored it. And then I went to Dead Astronauts, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't decipher it. I don't understand it. But I am going to circle back after I'm caught up on all Vandermeer. I'm going to circle back and finish Dead Astronauts. Well, I'm going to start from the beginning and finish it out because it's Vandermeer, and I should read it. And maybe the second time around, I'll change my mind. But I was deeply disappointed when I finally decided to DNF that book. Question number 6, biggest surprise. Maybe it's A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, because T.K. Fisher, the author of that book, I haven't been enjoying her books. I have read, I don't know, like 5, and A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking is the one of them that I was just like 5 stars, love it. It was one of my favorites of that quarter, of when I do my favorites of the quarter video. It was in the video. I think I gave it like Best Magic System Award. I enjoyed that book so much, which was very surprising because I haven't enjoyed her other books, not even close to the same level. Which I want to be clear, I'm not trying to push anyone away from these books because plenty of people love them. I think The Tainted Cup was a really big surprise for me as well. Not like once I started reading it, I was like, oh, I love this, and I continued to love it from beginning to end. But just because it's a mystery and it's a detective novel, and I personally don't enjoy mysteries or detective novels, but it had that, you know, Sherlock Watson dynamic, but in its own unique way, and it really worked. Oh, and you know what? A Letter from an Unknown Woman. Yeah, that's one of the biggest surprises too, because as I said when I reviewed it, I was reading this book, novella, short story. It's under 100 pages. I was reading this the whole time thinking it was a 1-star story, like thinking I was going to hate it and never read from this author again. And then I got to the ending and I realized, oh, no, wait, this was extraordinary. And then I went back and read it again. And I don't know if you'll like it, but boy, oh boy, did I. I mean, like it is maybe the wrong word, but his stories just do something. They really, it's hard to explain. Question number 7, favorite new author? It's Vandermeer. It's Vandermeer. I discovered him last year. I think I read Annihilation in December of 2023, but since then I've reread it, and I'm going to be rereading it again probably at the end of July for the Opposites Attract book club. Maybe I'll take it to the beach. I don't know. I just love that book so much. But Vandermeer has been a consistent, like, 5-star author, and I think I've read 7 of his books since I first read Annihilation. But Tchaikovsky is also a new-to-me author. I did read his Spider book. Sorry, it's, like I said, it's tomorrow at the time that I'm filming this. Children of Time. I read Children of Time years ago, and now I've recently started reading more of his books, and I'm finding that he is just an auto-read author for me. Not auto-buy, because he writes like a madman, but, you know, I'll read a lot of his books. Question number 8, newest fictional crush, pass. Question number 9, newest favorite character, Michael. Can I say Michael? I think I started reading the Dresden Files last year, so I don't think he counts. Let me try again. I might go with Carl. Was that his name? The old man from Door to Door Bookstore, which I read at the beginning of the year. There's been a lot of great characters. I'm going through the list of everything that I read, and there's several characters that I could put on the list, but I don't talk about Door to Door Bookstore very often, so I'm going to choose Carl. He's a grumpy old man that lives his life his way. He has a routine. He's very isolated, and then a young girl, Shasha, I think was her name, kind of just like said, I'm here now. We're friends, and I deliver these books with you. I'm on your book route as he goes door to door, delivering books to clients. And then she weasels her way into his life and then their life, and he begrudgingly has a found family. And it's very like A Man Called Ove kind of vibes. And I really, really loved this sweet, grumpy old man. Also JoJo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. It's the wrong channel for that, but I just really, really love JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Question number 10, a book that made you cry. Oh, well, that's an easy feat. I don't know. I cry a lot with books. The Strange Bird definitely had some really emotional scenes. A Court of Mist and Fury, because it just kept going on and wouldn't stop. Just kidding, I didn't cry. But, I mean, thought about it. Okay, small favor. I not only cried reading the book, but then telling one of the scenes in my review, I got choked up again. That's another Dresden book. House of Open Wounds, I'm pretty sure made me emotional. Reaper's Gale got me in one particular, and I'm pretty sure I got choked up in the review for that one as well. That's probably enough to have adequately answered that question. Question number 11, a book that made you happy. I don't read happy books. A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking definitely made me happy. The Bloodstones made me really happy because it was genuinely a fantastic book. And my friend Tori wrote it, and I was just like a shining, proud friend. And I've read a few Discworld books this year, and those every time make me happy. Question number 12, the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. So I've been making a very conscious effort not to purchase very many books this year. I think I could probably count the number of books that I've read this year on my fingers, which probably doesn't sound that impressive to a lot of people, but you know, I've had a history of buying a lot of books, and I've been real intentional about not anymore because I don't have any more bookshelf space. Like, I'm now putting books on the floor or going through my bookshelves and donating books in order to make space on my bookshelves, which just like, I don't need to buy more books. My library is great. We have a great selection. I can get a lot of stuff digitally. It's just like, as much as I love the experience of physically reading a book, and I love owning my books, and I love purchasing a new book, getting it in the mail, or going to the bookstore and getting one. I love the experience of getting a new book. It's just like, it's just unneeded for me to purchase more. So I've been trying really hard not to. So I think the most beautiful books that I've bought this year are probably the Ambergris trilogy, just because I think that the covers are really pretty, not because it's a special edition. I don't think I've bought any special editions this year. I just think those covers are really pretty. I just like them a lot. Question number 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? That's a good question. There are a couple that I really have been wanting to read but putting off. One book that I purchased and didn't read right away is It Waits in the Forest, and I keep putting it on TBRs, and then I keep kind of pushing it off because it's middle grade and I don't read a lot of middle grade, so when my TBR is too big and I need to cut something, I keep cutting that one because it's a little bit outside of what I typically read. I continue to push off Ray Bradbury's sci-fi series. I think it's called The Martian Chronicles. I read a couple Ray Bradbury last year and really enjoyed, Something Wicked This Way Comes. And this sci-fi series came highly recommended to me by a big fan of his that's in my Discord. And so I really need to read it and have had it on my TBR since January. But again, my TBR then gets too big and it keeps getting bumped. But I also really want to read Spider Key, the sequel to Wickwire Watch, which I enjoyed a ton. And I need to read the sequel sometime this year, hopefully within the next few months. And just a couple of series that are currently ongoing. I'm trying to be really intentional about reading sequels. As long as I enjoy the book that came before it, I want to make sure to be intentional about sequels, which is partially why new series are getting pushed back because I'm prioritizing sequels so much. And also trying to prioritize the new releases that look really interesting to me so that I can, review them soon and you can see, does that look interesting to me? I don't know. There's just so many books to read. But there you go. That is the mid-year freakout tag. I didn't even freak out. Probably because I'm tired. If you would like to answer some of these questions in the comments, I would love to hear what your answers are. If there's any books that you want to put on my radar, please feel free to leave those in the comments as well. Chat with me about any of the answers if you want to. I'll see you again soon. Bye.